Hi guys, this is Dr. Priyanka Shah, and today we're going to talk about 10 very simple tips to improve your presentation skills. Well, why is this topic important to you? Because currently you're making presentations in the classroom, and later when you graduate from the college, you'll be making presentations in the corporate world. Or if you might, as will be an entrepreneur, then maybe in front of a lot of venture capitalists. So in this case, this is something that everybody can relate to, and that is why we're going to talk on these very simple tips. So let us move on and understand what are these 10 tips to improve your presentation skills. Now, the very first tip is move, right? What happens is when you're there in the classroom, just notice how you stand there and how you don't move around, how you just stand there with your hands crossed or with your arms folded, and this doesn't make you look confident, right? So when you're there up on the stage, when you're there in the office, when you're there in the classroom, just move around as if you own the space. That will make you look more confident, you know. So move around in your audience as well. Now please understand, when I say move around, I'm not trying to say that move around at a very high pace or at a very fast pace, right? So move around very slowly. Make sure that you're maintaining eye contact with the audience whenever you're moving around. So this is probably the first and the most important tip, that move around. I mean, it is just something very simple that you can do. So the next time you're making a presentation, make sure that you don't stand hiding behind a podium, or you don't stand, just stationary wherever you are. All right. So I hope this first tip is very clear to all of us, that whenever we're going to make presentations, we're going to move around, right? Depending on the space, we move a little or we move a lot. Fine. Simple enough to understand. Now we move on to the next tip. All right, now the second tip is modulate your voice. Well, again, just look at me, just listen to me when I'm speaking this without any voice modulation. So the example here of no voice modulation is, if you sound bored, your audience will be bored. So bring on the energy and excitement in your voice. Keep your voice dynamic by using dramatic pauses, rise and fall in your intonation. Well, what just happened? So this is exactly my voice without any voice modulation. So it was so boring, it was so dull, it was absolutely monotonous. There was no high, there was no low, there was no pause as well. Right? So this is exactly what you do not have to do. Right? So whenever you're speaking, just listen to yourself. Use some high voice, use some high pitches like right now, and use some low pitches, like for example what I'm doing right now, right? So modulate your voice wherever necessary, wherever required. Now this will only come with practice. So what you can do is you can actually record yourself while you speak. So at home, after you finish listening to this PPT, just record yourself. Speak for a minute on anything and record yourself and see whether you're really modulating your voice or not. Are you increasing the volume of the voice, bringing it down, keeping the pitch high, low, taking dramatic pauses or taking pauses wherever required or not? So that is a second very simple tip. Please take pauses. Please make sure that you modulate your voice. Your pitch is high, low. Keep some energy and excitement in the voice. Right? Nobody wants to listen to a very boring speaker. So if you sound bored, your audience is absolutely going to sleep off. Right? So the second thing is modulate your voice. Now let's move on to the next tip. All right, the third one, connect. Connect with the audience, right? Humanize your content. Whatever you're presenting, make sure that you're trying to personalize it. So there will be times when you have to present data, facts and figures, statistics, but make sure that you're not presenting it as a very dry data. So just presenting facts and figures doesn't work. What you can do is probably you can just personalize it, or probably tell a story around it, or probably connect it with something that is happening right now in the world, with some latest news in the world. So do something about it. Now of course this will require a lot of preparation from your end. So think on how you're going to make the data interesting. It is absolutely the presenter's job to make sure that the audience is interested in whatever you're presenting. It is not the audience's job. Fine. So take it upon you as a presenter, make sure that the data that you're presenting turns out to be interesting somehow. All right. So this is the third point. Connect with the audience by humanizing your content. That is very, very important. The next step we move on to. Well, the fourth tip is humor. Now, humor is something that works in a lot of situations, right? So, now, of course, don't take yourself too seriously. You can just crack a joke here or there once in a while, wherever you think that there is a chance. Now, of course, you can't go on cracking jokes in a board meeting, of course, but then in probably presentations or in probably speeches where you have a large gathering, then to connect with the audience, to make sure that they are captivated, you can probably crack some jokes, right? Of course, please look at the situation, look at the the setting before you start cracking jokes. But if you're able to crack jokes, if you think that you're able to connect to the audience by cracking jokes, then this is one of the best ways to make your presentation interesting, right? Now, this does not have to be absolutely impromptu. What you can do is you can probably think of some jokes before the presentation itself while you're preparing or while you're rehearsing the presentations. That will make you much more confident. Fine. So using humor in the language that the audience understands is absolutely something that can make your presentation very interesting. So the fourth tip is use humor wherever necessary. Right? Maybe you can just crack a joke on yourself and the audience will have fun. Right? So fourth tip is use humor. If you think that you're good at using humor, then that is one of your greatest strengths, believe me. Fine. Now let's move on to the next tip. Prepare well. Now nothing replaces well prepared presentation. Now, what happens is sometimes just think of the speeches or the presentations that you have attended as an audience, or probably when you're in the class. What may happen is sometimes you feel that, okay, you just probably want to take out your mobile and fiddle with it. You just want to talk to your friend, or you just don't want to listen to whatever the presenter is saying. Well, why does this happen? Because you're just not able to connect with the presenter here, because you think that the presenter, whatever the presenter is presenting, he or she has not researched the topic well and has no clue about what he or she is talking, right? So in this case, you don't want to be in the spot where your audience thinks like this. So what you can do is just make sure that you anticipate questions. Think of what questions can come from the audience. Find answers of those questions well in advance, right? So if you're going to present something, for example, to the you know to the board or to the management, then in that case anticipate certain questions. You don't want to just stand there when they ask questions. You need to answer them very well. So preparation is the key. Preparation is one of the most important things that you just cannot avoid, right? So make sure that you're very well prepared for the presentation, right from finding facts and figures to include in the presentation, to making the presentation, to rehearsing the presentation. All of this needs thorough preparation, right? So the fifth tip is prepare well. And as I said, there is absolutely no shortcut to preparing well. You have to put in your time. Let's move on to the next tip then. Well, be flexible, of course, not like the person that you can see on the screen here, but then be flexible as far as making observations is concerned in the audience. Well, what happens is not every audience is the same, right? Larger audience differ a lot from smaller audiences. So if you think that what happens is when you look at the audience, you're able to understand whether they are interested or not. So if you think that out of 100 people in the audience, let's say almost 40 to 50 people are fiddling with their mobile phones or not looking at you, or they are just zoned out, in that case, you're not making a good presentation, right? So in this case, probably you can just change something, change the language, change the way you're talking, tell them a story, do something about it. If you think that there is a certain point which has interested the audience long enough, well, go on talking about it. If you think there's a certain point where the audience is not interested, well, cut it short. Right? So tailor your presentation according to the audience. Fine. And as I said, good observation during the presentation makes for a good presentation as well. So as a speaker, make sure that you're observing the people, you're observing how are they responding to your presentation. And accordingly, you're able to make certain changes. Now, so what you can do for being flexible is probably get to know the kind of audience that you're catering to. That is something that you can do well before the presentation. And then accordingly, you can maybe change your speech, change your presentation to make sure that they are engaged. Fair enough. So let us then move on to the next point. Well, next we talk about timing. How long do you keep the presentation? A lot of times my students ask me that, how long do we speak for? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes? Well, the timing is, you don't decide the timing. The timing is decided by the content of your presentation. What are you going to cover in the presentation? A presentation can be as short as maybe 3 minutes or as long as maybe 30 minutes. So ensure that whatever content you're covering is justifying the timing of your presentation. Too long presentation kind of turns off the audience. They get into the sleep mode, they get zoned out. And a very short presentation will just make them feel that they haven't got the entire crux. So this, for this point, you probably are the best judge that what should be the time of the presentation. Be clear and speak to the point. And at the beginning of the presentation, maybe just make it clear that at the end you're going to have a question and answer round, and leave time for it. So if you've decided that you're going to speak for 20 minutes and you're going to have a 5-minute question answer round, please stick to it. So this will also show that you are probably very, very punctual with time and that you have great communication skills as well. Alright, so as I said, you're the best judge of how much timing should be for the presentation. One more question I also come across a lot is how many slides do we have for the presentation, or how long do we have the presentation? Of course, even for this you're the best judge. So everything depends on how much content or what content are you trying to cover in the presentation. And what does the content depend on? The content depends on who is the audience and how much does the audience already know. So all these things kind of help you decide that what is going to be the time of your presentation. I hope you're able to take some better judgment on that. Well, moving on to the next point now. Do not rush. What is the hurry? Well, what happens is a lot of times I've observed or I've seen that when people get on the stage, they just want to finish it off and get down the stage very quickly. Well, I understand some of you might have stage fear, some of you might fear speaking in front of other people, but whether you are scared or not, you have to speak, right? So why not make the most of it when you're up there on the stage? Fine. So, you know, just slow down. Don't rush. Build anticipation. Make sure that the audience is interested. They're trying to anticipate what you're trying to say. All right. And don't fumble through points. Give some time to your audience to understand what you're saying, and give some time for to them to think what you're going to say next. Right. Involve them along in your process. Right. So if you're really prepared, then as I said, you won't need to panic. So well prepared presentation is a must, right? And therefore, do not rush when you're making a presentation. Make sure that you're taking it very slowly. Make sure that you've rehearsed it well earlier as well. But then keep it flexible, keep it open. Fine. Moving on to the next point. All right. The next tip is handouts, or also called as leave behinds. Now, see, handouts are something that you may or you may not want to give during your presentation. Now, what does it really depend on, and when do you give the handouts? So, for example, if you give them, see, it is human nature. What happens is, if you give me a piece of paper during the presentation, I will definitely have a look at it. And what will happen in the process? I'm looking at the piece of paper, I'm reading it, and I'm not paying attention to what you're speaking. So, if you want that the person should pay attention, the audience should pay attention, then in that case, don't give them the handouts in advance. Give them the handouts at the end of the presentation, but also make sure that you're informing them at the beginning of the presentation that you're going to give them handouts, so that they don't end up writing notes and just wasting their own time and not listening to you, right? So one good idea or one good strategy is, whenever you're going to give handouts, you have to make sure you tell them that you're going to give handouts at the end of the presentation. Or if you have to give handouts at the beginning of the presentation, then you must do it only in cases where there's a lot of data which you want to discuss with them. You want the audience to analyze the data, have a look at the data, and then discuss that data with you. Only in these cases, probably you should give them handouts at the beginning of the presentation. Fine. So decide for yourself, what are you going to present, what are you presenting, and therefore take a call whether you want to give them handouts or not. and when do you want to give them, at the beginning of the presentation or at the end of it. Fine. And let us now move on to our last tip, making eye contact. Well, I think one of the most important tips of a great, of a great presentation is making eye contact with the audience. Well, I have seen a lot of people not making eye contact. They probably just look at one person or one group of people, and what happens is very obvious. The rest of the audience feels left out, and therefore they don't even care what the presenter is then talking about, right? So if you want to make sure that all your audience is listening to you, please make sure that you have eye contact with all of them frequently for equal intervals, right? Now when I say eye contact, I don't mean that you have to actually look them in the eye all the time. That becomes a little difficult. So what you can do is you can just you know identify some groups of people and then keep moving your eye to all of them, right? So look at their foreheads, look at their noses, but you probably don't have to look them in the eye. So just give them an impression that you're looking at them, and that will, believe me, that will keep them absolutely engaged with you, right? Also, now eye contact is something that builds trust and rapport, right? So if you want to look confident, you have to build eye contact with them. All right, so these are so this is, again, as I said, eye contact is one of the most important tips that you can use while making a good presentation. So guys, these were the 10 simple tips that I have spoken about for making a good presentation. Now, as I said, what will happen is that if you use these 10 tips, it is not, your next presentation is not going to be absolutely great, but believe me, after 5 presentations or after 7 presentations, you will start noticing a difference in the way you present, right? So what you can do is you can just ask your friend to record the next presentation that you make, and record your presentations after five more presentations. And trust me, believe me, there will be a huge difference. So using these 10 simple tips will have a remarkable difference in the way you present. Fine. If there's anything you want to talk to me about or you want to write about, then here's my email ID. You can shoot an email. So, guys, all the best. I hope these 10 simple tips will really help you make a good presentation right now in the college as well as later on when you move to the corporate world. So, all the best. That's it from my side. Thank you.